emergency. He has got assault police mark card.
Vehicle stopped.
Get it off! Get it off! Give me your hands!
On the floor now!
North Yorkshire's traffic cops.
Crash, 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 crash.
140 mile an hour. How stupid are you?
Driving down crime in England's largest county.
Don't lie to me.
Stone.
Across 3,000 square miles.
Your vehicle's been stolen by an ambulance heading towards.
Dealing with danger on the roads.
What the bloody hell are you doing?
Male is trapped in the vehicle upside down.
Under pressure.
Go over there and I will speak to you.
Come on, mate, talk to us.
Out! You're under arrest. Do not move.
And at risk.
Tell me what I can't see!
Right, you're under arrest.
What's up? Right, you've had enough.
That's serious organised crime level.
Any more strikes, mate, you're going to go to prison.
Around every corner,
He's going to kill somebody.
Why haven't you stopped?
there's a new challenge. For the traffic cops.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
Coming up.
Yeah, vehicle's now taking some considerable risks.
The traffic cops tracking down the wanted.
Vehicle's been abandoned, it's gone straight over the road.
Where's he gone? Where's the driver?
The reported missing.
You all right? You've not seen a young child, have you? We want to try and find this child and get him back home.
And a car thief in a 120-mile-an-hour chase.
Stung.
It's probably one of the most spectacular ends to an incident that I've had for a long time.
We had a crash.
X12 units on this S&D. There's been a sighting of this vehicle.
You speak to the figure so we get any pass up, please.
We're going to get this.
Range Rover in black is currently committed towards Selby.
PC Matt Harvey is racing to find a car thief in Britain's biggest county, with almost 6,000 miles of roads.
Going to York to report a Land Rover that's just been stolen. It's being followed by CCTV.
557 now, looks like CCTV. Picked it up again next to Woodstock roundabout, it's heading down towards Top, I think.
They've obviously stolen that car for some reason. It's quite a high-value car, so we're just going to try and get behind it and see if we get it stopped.
Yeah, I've authorised them to pass it on route. Approximately 8 minutes now.
There's myself, the sergeant, and a dog man behind us.
Ahead of Matt, Sergeant Julian Pearson is leading the search.
557, can you coordinate on the ground, please, in regards to units, locations, etc.?
Right, I'm heading that way anyway, let's have a look.
The stolen Range Rover has been tracked by City of York Council CCTV. The actual route that it took didn't seem to be a route that a normal car thief would take. You've got to think on your feet very quickly, what's the best place to deploy with the chance of finding it?
Except in relation to this S&D, just for awareness that there is also a dog in this vehicle, a Doberman.
Is it his dog or the loser's dog? The loser's dog.
11:16, I can acquisition the dog. Do we know its name?
It's called Jake, and he's friendly.
This thief has taken the car without any regard for who's in it, and the owner's pet dog is in the boot.
Being a dog owner myself, I could imagine exactly what he was feeling.
So my monitoring is coming back on its Selby.
Potentially it's coming towards us, so we should sight it in the not too distant future. So we're going to wait for it now. 15:13 acknowledged.
Has there been a sighting for this Range Rover yet?
Negative, it hasn't, not as of yet.
At this stage, tactic will be a thing. We do it, but two can then pass as well at this time.
That's 2-1 with about 2 minutes now. Do we know whereabouts it is?
With such a large area to cover, the police helicopter and a network of cameras play a vital role.
X12 units on this S&D, there's been a sighting of this vehicle. The vehicle is a right towards Selby.
That's 2-1, we're on scene.
I don't think it's Crocky Hill at this time, but if you start sort of the Escrick, working out, we should catch it.
Yes, received. Yeah, we're about a minute and a half from Escrick, and we'll track north from there.
1513, approaching Crocky Hill. Where was it last seen?
Then cameras, can you shed any light on that?
Currently looking at that area now, I can't see any vehicles.
Matt, do you want to go towards North Suffield? Skipwith, I'll go straight down.
Will do.
A call from tracking the vehicle live. It's currently heading on the A19 towards Selby.
The best thing that we can hear from owners of vehicles is that they have a tracking device fitted to them.
Then, Pastor, did you get the last in regards to where this vehicle's tracking?
Yes, we start at Escrick, track down to Rickhall, we'll hold at Rickhall.
So we're in the area, we're running parallel with it now. The owner of the car's got an app and it's telling us it's on the A19 at Escrick, so it's literally just parallel with us. We're just going to try and get back to the A19 now.
I'm talking to Matt, who's behind me, and as we come into Escrick, I shout to Matt on the radio in the hopes that I could get him ahead of the pursuit with a stinger.
Press 3-1, we've got visual on a Range Rover in the A19. Just trying to get closer, get a reg number.
The Range Rover reacts to my presence before I'd even put any lights on. Ideally, you put the blue lights on the pull over, but when a car's been stolen, they don't want to escape. He is overtaking headlong into HGVs and through red areas in junctions. You are hoping and praying that members of the public are moving over and getting out of the way.
I'm the owner of the vehicle, 390, cameras activated, it's medium ready. Self visual is still A19 now, south of Rickhall, towards Melbourne. Can we patch you West Yorkshire, please? I would match my heading to the motorway. It's approaching the little roundabout at Melbourne, stand by. It's 163.
Matt is now ahead of the wanted driver.
It's coming our way. Sarge, I'll hop out with a stinger on the crossroad.
The tension is high because we are approaching the location where the stinger is. The subject is doing 122 miles an hour.
1513, I'm there, the stinger now. Stung.
He's been done 122 mile an hour. He's becoming extremely reckless and dangerous. I can see the back of the car, he's fishtailing. I'm dropping back in anticipation that there's going to be a collision. He's trying to negotiate a bend and something is inevitable.
We have a crash.
Coming up, the crash driver has nowhere to hide.
Out! You're under arrest on suspicion of theft of motor vehicle, dangerous driving. Do not move!
But Jake, the Doberman, is missing.
1692, the victim's absolutely distraught. Is there any news on the dog at all?
There was a chill that went down my back, thinking that dog has been in this car.
And a wanted driver jumps from a moving car.
And it's gone off-road. Vehicle's been left.
Sting! Stung.
10 miles south of York, a car thief has stolen a 4x4 with the owner's dog inside. Traffic cop Sergeant Julian Pearson is leading the 120-mile-an-hour chase.
We have a crash. Urgent assistance, vehicle control, stand by. I think just by North Duffield, just to enter the 163 to North Duffield, just on the side field.
I could hear him shouting from the car.
Out! Out! You're under arrest on suspicion of theft of motor vehicle, dangerous driving. Do not move! Up! Down on your knees.
All right, stay there.
My dad's died.
Right. Yeah, well, you nearly died, didn't you? Was there anybody else in the car with you?
There was someone who just started off. I wasn't driving like.
No, there wasn't.
I was there, man. Look, my feet are in the footwell and my footwell.
M-Pass-31, at the point this vehicle crashed, can you just confirm that nobody else got out of this vehicle? We're not looking for anybody else.
Yeah, confirm, correct.
Thank you. Yeah, I believe this one. Vehicle was a crash. It's currently on its roof. Single occupant is outing.
1635, do you need ambulance? We're just on with them at the moment.
Yeah, just to check over.
There is one other occupant.
1635, you've got an update on the dog, please.
The stolen car owner's dog, Jake.
The dog's run off. You're going to have to wait on that one. It's running down the road towards Selby, back towards Selby. M-Pass, can you just keep odds on that dog that's running down as well if you can? I know it's difficult.
Yes, we've got it on the A163. He's heading back towards Selby.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, up you go.
That was ex-boyfriend wife as well.
M-Pass-31, still got visual on dog. He's still making progress away from the village towards Selby. There's a few vehicles parked up trying to stop the dog, but it's continuing.
The car's barrel rolled into the field and the dog has been ejected from the rear window of the car and is running around absolutely petrified of the noise of the sirens, the noise of the helicopter and people shouting, the police dog barking. You can't imagine the trauma that that dog will have gone through.
But he might be injured as well, this dog. He does look to be limping a little bit. M-Pass-31, we've got a van now just coming up to the dog, police van just coming up to the dog now.
This dog has been in a 90-mile-an-hour tumble dryer.
Yeah, officer's got hold of the dog, he's just putting it in his van.
Fabulous, thank you. 1692, just get the laugh.
Yeah, received. Is he injured?
Just as soon as you can you just let us know if he's injured?
It's fine, as fine can be.
Thank you. 1664, are you okay with that? Can you just take this dog to Fulford Road to meet the owner, please?
Having done the job a long time, you meet an awful lot of criminals, but people like this chap I have utter contempt for, really. They ruin people's lives.
Wanted to disqualify.
Listen, have you got anything on you that's going to...
Josh was searched him.
Right, you're going to be searched. Don't do anything daft.
It's calm now. It's over. It's over. You've managed to live.
Lucky there, buddy, aren't you?
Yeah, mate.
Have you got any smokes about?
Mate, I want one myself. You're also under arrest at this time on suspicion of disqualified driving, alright?
Alright, yeah.
Do you want to just take a seat in here?
I had disqualified driving, like. Can't disqualify drive someone. Look, my head there, look.
This particular thief has taken the car without any regard for who was in it and you know the owner's kids could have been in the car, but as it turns out their pet dog was in the boot. It's probably one of the most spectacular ends to an incident that I've had for a long time. It's extremely lucky to survive, but I think that's testament to the manufacture of vehicles nowadays. They're designed to protect the occupants, so in this particular instance the vehicle effectively saved his life. It could have been a lot worse, couldn't it?
Settle. Come here. Settle down now. Good boy. Settle. Good boy. Good settle.
It's a few days since the chase, and Jake the dog is back home with his owner.
We're going out to take Jake for a walk, and just passing by the shop to pick up a parcel, and parked the car outside like I normally do, and as soon as I left the shop, I looked left where my car was, where I parked it, and suddenly my car was just gone. And I was dreading that, you know, I would never see Jake again. That was my first thought, I'm not going to see Jake again.
This is now a
Police officer turned up. I said we were able to follow the vehicle, but it's not stopping. The car was travelling at 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. It's now going 125, it's weaving in and out of traffic, and I knew that Jake was in that car. And it was terrifying. When I'd realised the car had crashed, it's on its roof, I was just thinking straight away, like, no one's going to survive that crash. I didn't believe that that's going to have a positive outcome for anybody. So it just seemed miraculous that my dog could walk out of that car, you know, just survive even that crash at all. I really didn't think I'd see Jake again, and I just think that that was a miracle on that day.
Shirt 895 and 206 in this vehicle, please, went towards Harewood.
Sometimes it does go into the Harrogate.
27, we're Leeds Road, outbound. We're going to head out towards the bypass.
At the start of their night patrol, Sergeant Rich Harrison and his team are on high alert.
Just had information that a VW Golf that's believed to be cloned is activated in the Knaresborough area. It's only been cloned for a couple of days. This time of night, Sunday night, burgling night, there's a good chance they're up to no good. They are up to no good. They're in a clone car. So we're just going to go and deploy now to the borders and see if we can get hold of it. Busy, busy.
To help with their search, a network of cameras covers over 3,000 square miles.
Oscar 56 heading towards Spofford, Oscar 77.
What is it?
Silver Golf GTI.
Silver 15.
Teamed up with Rich is fellow traffic cop Rich Clark.
So obviously we've got NPR cameras around the area, and at the moment it's not activated again, which is a good thing for us. That tells us generally they're still in the area.
Right, Joe, I've spoken 1532. I'm just heading away, Harrogate, back towards West Yorkshire.
Yeah, 10-4. If history tells us it leaves again, can we get unmarked cars go into Harrogate and look for it? So that gives us better tactical options, please.
Yes, yes.
The problem is with these things is we never know what their intent is. Are they trying to avoid having documents for the car? Are they drug dealing? Are they burgling, stealing cars? The longer it goes on without being sighted, the more units we get into the area start to be a bit more optimistic about things. Quite strong potential we'll get behind this. Hey up! Yeah, I think it might come back out.
I think it'll come out.
I'm thinking Harewood. Are you going to go to Poole Bridge?
Can do.
Then we've got everywhere covered. All right, mate. When we look at cars like this that we think won't stop for us, the safest thing we can do is put cars in different locations. One, it covers routes in and out, so we can detect it getting out of the area. But secondly, if we've got cars everywhere and we get behind it and it does take off, then we've got cars ahead of us that can deploy a stinger.
Looking at the information I've got, I believe that this vehicle heads back into West Yorkshire in the evening and then heads back into North Yorkshire in the morning.
10-4, thank you.
It's just a waiting game now, like Rich says, we've cast our net is out, we've got cars at strategic points. It is cat and mouse, that's exactly what it is, it's cat and mouse, and the game is on.
VW in silver, get them to have a look.
6 hours later, with no sign of the Golf, taking over the search is Traffic Cop Chris Story.
He just did a vehicle check in Harrogate, so he's obviously coming this way.
I've started my shift, and straight away there's somebody coming into the Harrogate area, driving a vehicle which is on clone plates. So it goes straight away. We're not messing about, we're straight out the door.
Silver Golf, single male driver, no other occupants, and this vehicle's got a sunroof.
1-3, we're just coming up Oka Bank now, approaching the roundabout with the army barracks, and we're going to go for a conventional stop at the roundabout.
Yeah, received.
The vehicle's come past me on the road. No messing about, I'm straight out behind the vehicle, I'm in a marked car.
And it's approaching the roundabout now. It's not one, not one. Not two, not two. It's taking the third in towards Harrogate.
I've got an open mind as to who I'm going to be faced with, but my previous experience kind of tells me that it could be somebody that really doesn't want to be stopped by the police and is willing to take risks if it comes to it.
Blue lights and sirens illuminated, still no reaction from the driver. I'm Pennypot Lane, and I can now confirm that this vehicle is failing to stop for me. Can I have authority from Silver, please, to continue this pursuit?
Yeah, it's gonna...
He's making a clear indication. He's got absolutely no intention of stopping. The speed's gone from normal road speed to we're travelling, you know, almost twice the speed limit, and straight away we're overtaking vehicles on blind bends and things like that. He ain't going to stop.
5-6 on road.
Traffic Cop Sergeant Pete Stringer is racing to back up Chris.
Where there's a pursuit, it's important to get as many trained units into the area as quickly as you can. So everybody's travelling as quickly as they can, but all the while it's in the back of your mind. This is sort of rush hour in Harrogate. The roads are busy, and there's pedestrians, including kids on the way to school.
Pete is minutes behind Chris and the cloned Golf.
Vehicle's taking a left off Pennypot Lane. We're on to Kent Road. Speed 60. Yeah, vehicle's now taking some considerable risks.
He's making attempts to lose me by slowing back down and then taking a quick left. He's driving through roadworks and he's driving on pavements where there could be people walking to school or walking to work. He's showing absolutely no regard for anybody else on the road.
I think this might be a dead end down here. Vehicle's been abandoned, it's gone straight over the road.
Where's he gone? Where's the driver? Which way? Did you see him, mate? Did you see what he looked like? No. Okay, mate, no problem.
It is very, very lucky that nobody was hurt. It's a busy road, that, so the chance of nobody being on that piece of road at that time was actually quite extraordinary.
With the driver on the run, Pete arrives to provide backup.
He's decamped up there. On the car hill. Oh my! Rolled it all the way down here through live lane. Lucky we're not coming.
Right.
I'll do a bit of digging on this in my car.
Right, well, I'll have a motor around because I'm in a plane car, and then, yeah.
Oh.
Be nice to get hold of him as quick as we can. He can't be too far away on foot.
As Pete searches for the missing driver, Chris looks in the Golf for clues to the driver's identity.
It's a mess, but what I'm finding in the car is kind of suggesting that this is somebody that's been travelling to work.
Hopefully the lad that's run off has left his mobile phone in the vehicle, which gives us the name. So we're keen to get him located as quick as we can, to see if he's got any drugs in his system or alcohol, in addition to the driving offences. You're always hopeful when you're doing your area search, but they can go in so many different directions. They can garden hop, they can go into outhouses, people's houses that they don't know, or find some safe retreat. So quite often they do get away sort of there and then. If it's not today, it'll be tomorrow that we get hold of him.
Coming up, a suspect driver has questions to answer.
We've looked in the car, we found a mobile phone. It's got pictures of you on it, so is that phone yours?
Yeah.
So why is it there?
And an urgent call triggers a massive search.
Come on, darling. Are you in any trouble?
It's every parent's worst nightmare for a child to go missing.
Searching for wanted or missing people in a county as large as North Yorkshire requires teamwork and coordination.
465, can you give us the address of where he's gone missing from? Yeah, it's in the book. So we're currently en route to a suburb on the west side of York. We've just had a report that there's a 8-year-old child who's gone missing. So myself and several other units are en route to the area now to try and locate this child as quickly as we possibly can.
Every year in the UK, there are over 100,000 children reported missing. PC Mike Rowan is one of 7 units responding.
More often than not, it might be that the child is maybe gone to a friend's address, not told parents or where they're going. So sometimes there might be an innocent explanation to it, but obviously we can't take that risk. We need to try and find his kid as quickly as possible. It's approaching 8 o'clock at night. It's very cold weather outside at the moment as well. Although he's 8 years old, we don't know essentially maybe how streetwise he might be. So we need to try and locate him as quickly as you possibly can. We've got myself, my sergeant in another car, a dog unit, several firearms units going as well to assist with the search. So there's a lot of us going. So when we get on scene, we'll speak with the local sergeant who's been allocated to be the ground commander, see where he wants us.
Mike, could you do that sort of square bit, that block there?
Yeah. It's every parent's worst nightmare for a child to go missing. Whenever we get something like that, best way that we can deal with it is by getting boots on the ground, looking and searching to try and find this child as quickly as possible.
We don't know the full circumstances as to why he has gone missing. We don't know whether something's happened. We don't know whether he's maybe playing just a game of hide and seek. We don't know. So obviously we've got to factor that in as you conduct our searches. It's just going to be a search of gardens. What we want to try and do is make sure that we carry out a systematic search. So we'll break things down into essentially a grid, and we'll know who's searching which area, and we'll also look to overlap as well. Hello, you alright? It's just the police. We're just looking for an 8-year-old child who's gone missing. Just making sure they're not hiding in your garden. Alright. Yeah, alright, thank you. If I'd lost my child,
I dread to think how I would be feeling. Obviously panicked, stress, wondering what on earth has happened. You alright? You've not seen a young child, have you? No.
After 35 minutes of searching, there's still no sign of the child.
I'm listening to updates via the police radio. I'm looking behind hedges, under cars. I'm opening any doors which a child could have gone into. It is a very emotional job to go to. Everybody involved in the search as well wants to find a child as quickly as possible. We don't want it to come to the worst outcome. We want to find this child alive and well. So we've just had an update as well. We've also appeared to have a helicopter en route as well, just to assist with the ground search.
Come on, darling. Are you in any trouble? We were just worried about you.
Has he been located?
He's been located.
Fantastic. The moment I heard the child had been found safe and sound, it was a huge relief.
It's right.
Who was it who located him?
Caroline. Good work, Caroline.
He's probably having a bit of a game of hide and seek and doing a very good job of it as well, because we've been searching for a good half an hour, 45 minutes to try and find him. And he was actually found in one of the neighbours' gardens.
Yeah, just found him behind a bush. We're having a really good look around the garden, in the shed, you know, hearing a big dog barking, thinking, oh, let's get out of here. And then just as we're on our way out, I thought, we'll just have a look down this tiny, tiny little gap. And he was just there, wedged, didn't want to speak to us, looking away. And he was not happy to be found, but we're really glad we found him.
As a result of everyone's actions, everyone pulling together, police and local community, we've managed to find him very quickly. So it's a really positive result. It makes it worthwhile.
Is it here? I'll come through, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. Have you done this before? Have you been interviewed by the police before here? You have. So you understand the process and things like that. We're going to go through it.
Don't get it done.
Are you sure?
Yeah, let's do it.
No problem. Right, grab a seat in the far corner for me. Thank you very much.
Earlier, the traffic cops chased a VW Golf on cloned plates. The driver escaped.
I've seized a mobile phone from within the vehicle.
But the suspect has now been tracked down and invited in for questioning.
I'm going to be asking him about where he was at the time. Was he the driver of the vehicle? Why his phone's in the vehicle? So I'm hoping he's going to talk to me, but whether or not he does is another thing. You are here voluntarily, you're not here under arrest. So the reason that you're here then, so a silver Volkswagen Golf displaying false registration plates. It's failed to stop for the police. It's driven into Harrogate at excessive speeds and in a dangerous manner. The driver of that vehicle ran away and allowed the vehicle to continue to roll down a grass embankment across Jenny Fields Drive and then collides with a tree and came to a stop. The first question that I'll ask you is, do you know anything about that?
No comment.
Okay. Are you the owner of a silver VW Golf?
No.
Did you put them registration plates on the vehicle so that it wouldn't get stopped for no insurance or tax?
No comments.
Were you the driver of the Volkswagen Golf?
No comment.
If you weren't, where were you?
No comment.
Should any of your possessions be in that vehicle?
No comment.
Do you have a mobile phone?
Yeah.
Where is it? We've looked in the car, we found a mobile phone. It's got pictures of you on it. It's got a Facebook account with your picture on and your name. And, you know, an email address with your name on it, which obviously makes me think that that phone is yours. So is that the case?
Yeah.
That is your phone? Yeah. So why is it there?
No comment.
I'll pop you back in the waiting area.
He said no comment to 99% of the questions that I've put to him. Right, just grab a seat. He tied himself up a little bit with the phone. He's almost coming across as though he knows that he's in the wrong. He knows he was the driver at the time, and he just doesn't want to hold his hands up and admit it. I'm happy that I've given him an opportunity to provide us with an account, because it's only fair, and ultimately, yeah, he's told us that it's his phone, so that is a result, really, yeah. The likely outcome is a summons to court, yeah. And then they can ask him how he's going to account for what we've put to him today.
Coming up.
It's going to be in the fields down that side.
The traffic cops launch a manhunt for a fuel thief.
Say there's a fuel cap missing on one of them. Got 500 quid's worth there in one scoop.
There's curtain siders on the other side of a road, and there's a car parked up next to them, lights out, but you never really see that, so a bit unusual.
After a successful search for a missing 8-year-old boy, PC Mike Rowan is back on patrol near Selby, 15 miles south of York.
Make sure they're not baking into any of these. I've seen a car parked up amongst some lorries. That's really, really unusual. I drive this road a lot, every single night shift, and I very rarely ever see a car parked up there. There's nobody with it, and it's parked up amongst the curtain siders. Keys are still in it. Yeah, 10-4. There's several jerry cans in the back and piping. There is a strong smell of fuel in the back of the car. I think we're siphoning fuel, but it's potentially going to be maybe in the fields down that side or off in that direction. Cut back round, and I've not seen anyone on foot as of yet, but as you can see, it's just wide open. The difficulty is this road is so wide open as you're driving along here that they're going to see you, they're going to hear you. You've got no option but to park up next to it and check that there's no one in it, because that's your opportunity to potentially grab hold of somebody, isn't it?
Specialist search units are called in to help hunt down the suspect.
The dog is currently tracking in fields across to our left-hand side, so we're just waiting on further updates coming through from the dog handler. We have asked for a helicopter. The last update that we just got from the dog handler appears to suggest that they're heading back round towards the direction of the hotel, which is back behind us.
It's the old slowly catch a monkey job, isn't it?
Also searching for the suspect is Sergeant Julian Pearson.
So I want to stay in the area just in case. Just a waiting game at the moment. Because I think some of those are going to be full, aren't they?
Well, it stinks.
Yeah, they've been.
Oh well. You found the empty can as well?
Not yet.
The heavy duty piping for putting into the fuel tanks, and then once you've got the siphon going, you'll be able to fill all these up. Well, these are 25 litre drums. So you've got one, so 50, 100, 200, 253, 350 litres. So, you know, you've got 500 quid's worth there in one scoop. That'll be from yesterday, probably another job.
Yeah.
But like you say, there's a fuel cap missing on one of them.
Have you had a look at the ones on the other side?
No.
No, right.
Not as yet.
No worries, mate. Well, pop down and have a look. It is high risk and high reward to the criminals involved. They're going to the lengths of damaging fuel tanks to siphon fuel out of them, whether causing sparks and then that causing an explosion, and let alone to themselves, but also the lorry driver that's often asleep in his own cab. And it can be just as dangerous for us when we're tackling this kind of crime. They've got no issues in threatening officers with weapons if they are disturbed.
So if you look in the car, this is what we'd probably call a pool car. So it's used for criminality. It's on false plates. Yeah. So it's on false plates as well. So we're just going to run the VIN number through, see what the true vehicle is, but it's obviously just a cloned vehicle that's running on false plates. The tools that they've used to pop the fuel locks, cut the hoses. So there may be some forensic opportunities, but so we'll leave those in the car and speak to scenes of crime. But what I was looking for was things like, you know, McDonald's, where they might have popped into a garage to get McDonald's, and you might look at a receipt or a transaction and think, do you know what, you might get them on CCTV there. But there's nothing at all in this. So
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, there you go. There's some fingerprints on the glass.
we've not moved that, have we?
We've not touched it.
There, look.
Yeah.
Right. So when they put the CSI template in, see if they can
do a fingerprint.
The car is being taken to a police depot for a forensic search.
Right.
So obviously that's
yeah,
definitely priority. Yeah, it's we don't know if we maybe made 2 trips because all jerry cans are empty, but we've done about 4 trucks, and one guy's saying he's lost about 50% of fuel. Unfortunately, they've got away this evening, but obviously we're getting the car recovered for forensics. There's some fingerprint marks on a window, so we've not got them this evening, but hopefully we'll get them very soon.
I don't like to have unfinished business. So when somebody technically evades being stopped, I like to make sure that I do everything I can to find them.
So although we haven't got hands on a criminal this evening, it's really satisfying because we've disturbed them in the act. They haven't nicked a load of fuel. They've made mistakes by leaving things at the scene that we can get forensics off. And he's also out in the freezing cold. It's a very long walk home.
None of us like to lose something, and it's not a game, but at the end of the day, we are paid by the taxpayer to make the roads safer, to reduce criminality and to stop crime.
Being able to search effectively is a really important skill, whether we be out looking for cars, evidence, suspects. You've got to be curious, you've got to be a little bit nosy, you've got to investigate things. That's a basic skill of any good copper.
In this episode,
blue lights and sirens illuminated, still no reaction from the driver.
The man who failed to stop in the cloned VW Golf.
Where's he gone? Where's the driver?
Pleaded guilty to failing to stop, dangerous driving, no insurance, no licence, and fraudulently using a registration mark, and received an 8-month suspended sentence and was banned from driving for 18 months.
Sting!
And in the case against the man who allegedly stole a Range Rover with Jake the dog in the boot.
7, we have a crash, vehicle control, stand by. Out!
The jury determined unanimously that the driver did commit the offences of dangerous driving, aggravated vehicle taking, disqualified driving, and causing unnecessary suffering to a protected animal.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, up you go.
He's currently remanded in prison awaiting sentence.
Can't disqualify drive someone. Put my head there, look.
Cars are just inert objects. They are lumps of metal. They can be replaced, but you just cannot replace family members.
2 weeks after returning home, tragically, Jake's condition deteriorated and his owner was forced to have him put to sleep due to the injuries that he sustained in the crash.
And there's more from North Yorkshire next Monday night at 8. Later this week, a dilapidated barn undergoes a jaw-dropping transformation. Build your dream home in the country, brand new Thursday at 8. And new next tonight, reports of thieves on the run and a car collision hit and run. The calls keep coming to Police Night Shift 999 next.